privilege to introduce a true luminary in the realm of technology, innovation, and investment, Mr. Michael Volker.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. So first, your journey has been a remarkable one, from founding your own company to becoming a prominent angel investor. Could you share with us some pivotal moments that inspired your transition into the world of technology investment and entrepreneurship?
I think it started when I was a student at the University of Waterloo. As many people know, Waterloo has a co-op education program where you go to school and you study at the same time. And what I learned in doing that was that I didn't really like the idea of working in a large company for other people. I wanted to be my own boss. And this gave me the opportunity to learn that. So after working for big companies during my co-op experience, I realized that I wanted to do something more enterprising, something on my own, where I would be in control and where I would be the master of my own destiny. And that's what really got me going on the entrepreneurial journey. And being an engineering student, I like to make things and sell things. And so it was a natural progression for me.
Yeah, we know WUTIF is the Western University Technology Innovation Fund. So WUTIF has played a significant role in fostering innovation and supporting early stage technology ventures. Could you elaborate on the core mission and the driving philosophy behind WUTIF?
Our mission is really to invest very, very early in new ventures, usually at the stage where other people are a bit afraid of the risk. So we like to take the risk, and we mitigate that risk by being a little bit more hands-on with companies at those early stages of development. And what we look for is not just companies that are going to be unicorns, billion-dollar companies, but good, solid companies that can be medium-sized companies and that are able to dominate the niche in which they operate. There are a lot of companies that might be what you call lifestyle companies, and we're not interested in those, but we're certainly interested in those companies that have a good opportunity to grow to, say, $40–50 million of sales, and then be attractive to another company to be acquired by another company.
Okay, yeah. So in your extensive experience, what are the key qualities or attributes that you look for when considering potential investment opportunities?
So we look for people that are driven, people that are keen to learn, people with domain expertise, and people that are not too dismissive. A red flag for us is if someone comes across as a know-it-all, someone who's got all of the answers. We like it when people are a little bit humble, yet very driven. They know what they don't know, and they're keen to get the support that they need to build successful companies.
Okay, so you mean the team is very important than the technology or the idea?
Number one, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. WUTIF's portfolio boasts an impressive array of successful ventures. Could you highlight a few standout success stories?
Sure, happy to. One of the very first ones that we supported was a company called General Fusion. General Fusion is a company that's been around for almost 20 years now, and they're trying to create power using the fusion reaction process. And when we first invested in General Fusion, everyone was afraid to take that risk. But by getting us and a group of other angel investors together, we were able to raise a relatively small amount, $400,000, to get the company started. And that was key, because without that start, the company might not be around today. And today, of course, it's raised, hundreds of millions of dollars, and is continuing to work on making this a reality. Another company, also in the clean tech sector, is a company called Electromechanica, and they were making a very small one-person electric car. And we were the very first investor. It was a very small amount that we put in, but it was critical in that it showed that the company had viability in the sense that it would be able to attract investors like us. And we did quite well on that investment. We made about 25 times our money, but it was, I think, largely because we were willing to take that first step when other people were a bit shy about it and not willing to take that risk. Another one, also in clean tech, is a company called Neurio, and they were doing energy monitoring systems for homes. It's a couple of female entrepreneurs from University of British Columbia, and we got involved in that at the very, very beginning, again, when really no one wanted to get involved with it. But we were instrumental, I think, in putting together an initial board of directors, helping the company get the initial funding. And then we stayed with it for many years as the company evolved. And it was eventually bought out by Generac in the US and is now a division within that company. So it too is a good success story.
The entrepreneurs often face challenge beyond funding, such as mentorship and guidance. So how does WUTIF provide holistic support to startups beyond financial investment?
The thing that's very important to us is good governance. And one of the things we insist on with companies is that they have a good board of directors. And we usually help them put together a board of directors. It could be somebody from WUTIF that is on the board. It could be one of our directors, associates, or investors. They could be directors of the company. But in any case, we will work with the company to make sure that there is a board in place that has the qualifications and capabilities to help the company, and of course, a board that is acceptable to the company. We're big fans of stewardship and oversight, and we think it's important for entrepreneurs to have somebody guide them. And we see that as one of the key functions of a board of directors.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. The landscape of technology and entrepreneurship is constantly evolving. In your view, what emerging trends and sectors hold the most promise for future innovation and investment?
Of course, at the moment, artificial intelligence is very popular, but then again, artificial intelligence has been around a long time, and we define technology quite broadly. We believe that there are good opportunities in agricultural technology, health technology, automation, finance, across the board. And of course, in many of those sectors, it usually comes down to software that's being applied. Could be software based on AI or just software in general. So we don't see any one particular sector as eclipsing any other. We just believe in technology broadly, applicable to all stages of life and application.
Okay, yeah. The tax incentives offered by WUTIF are intriguing. Could you explain how these incentives work and how they contribute to attracting both investors and entrepreneurs to the fund?
Well, the tax incentives, and just for clarification, the British Columbia government provides investors who invest in startups or in funds like WUTIF with a 30% refundable tax credit. So even if an investor has no taxes owing, it's as good as getting a check from the government for 30% of the investment. So of course, that makes it easy for us to attract investors into the fund, and it also makes it easy for entrepreneurs to attract investors directly into their companies. In the case of investors coming into the fund, we have a unique advantage in that after an investor has their money at work for approximately 5 years, if at that point they decide to leave the money in for an additional period, they can get the tax credit again on the money that they leave in. We are now at the stage where some of our investors have done this several times to the extent that they've received back their initial capital outlay entirely through tax credits. And of course, they still have an investment, which today is approximately 3 times the value that it was when they first got involved and when they first invested in us.
Yeah, interesting. So I wonder if a foreign investor can get the tax return, or they must be a BC resident.
Well, yes, you must be a BC resident and a BC taxpayer in order to benefit from the tax credit. There are some ways around that. We've seen foreign investors come into funds like WUTIF, and they do that by buying shares from other shareholders. So there are mechanisms for accomplishing that.
Okay, good. So for entrepreneurs thinking funding with WUTIF, what advice would you offer to increase their chance of securing investment and building a successful partnership?
I think the most important thing to get us to seriously look at making an investment is a very solid business plan. I know it's fashionable to do PowerPoints and to have decks, but we like to see a well thought out plan. And what's especially important in a plan is a cash flow analysis. We need to know that the company is going to have the cash that it needs to survive. Too many companies run out of cash, and too many companies don't know how to manage their cash flow. So for us, that's extremely important. Also important in a business plan is competition, because when you think about it, the only real threat, other than perhaps the lack of cash to a company, is competition. You can bet that there's probably other companies out trying to do exactly the same thing that any given company is trying to do. So whenever I hear someone make a presentation, I quickly do some Googling, and it never surprises me when I find that there are other companies working on doing almost exactly the same thing. So it's really, really important for entrepreneurs to dig deep as far as competition is concerned. Google as much as they can, ask around, just totally be aware of the fact that even if they can't identify competition, there probably are others working on the same opportunity or on the same problem. So competition is key.
Yeah. When we read the BPs, we always find the same ideas. In addition of financial returns, what do you believe is the broader impact of WUTIF on the innovation ecosystem and the economic growth of British Columbia?
I think what it comes down to is encouraging people to take a chance, to take a risk, to try something new. And we like to invest in those risky opportunities because, frankly, the higher the risk, the higher return. But I think in addition to getting those returns, as you mentioned, it really just creates more willingness by entrepreneurs to take that chance. So it really comes down to having a culture where people aren't worried about what can go wrong. Instead, they think more about what good can come of this, what can really be great about this. A lot of the technologies that we see and the companies that we support is not just about making money. It's about, a cleaner environment. It's about better healthcare. It's about better food. Maybe it's about safety. there are so many benefits in addition to financial benefits that can come. And we believe that by supporting those very early stage activities, those benefits will ultimately be realized by the community at large.
Yeah. So because our CCCLA is aimed to all the Chinese people in the world. So for the Chinese entrepreneurs, what do you want to tell them to attract them, set up their company in Canada?
Well, Canada is a great place to come and start your venture. You know, my Vantech Angel Network is involved with the Startup Visa program, and we encourage companies from other countries to consider making Canada their home and grow their company here. Canada is one of the best places to start a company because we've got lots of government programs, we've got grants, we've got scientific research and experimental development tax credits. We've got talent, we've got good universities. It's a safe country. Capital is available, lots of angel investors, lots of venture capital investors and institutional investors. So long story short, I would encourage entrepreneurs to really take a close look at Canada as a place to build and grow their companies.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Lillian.
Bye.